Heading into Virginia Tech's showdown against North Carolina this weekend in Chapel Hill, it is clearly by far the biggest game of the season yet for the Hokies. Virginia Tech, for the first time in over 2 years, ranked in the top 25. Much discussion has been about it, but I think the discussion should end at what Virginia Tech offensive lineman Augie Conti had to say about that, where he said, look, you're not ranked until you've defended your ranking. And who has Virginia Tech beaten that's truly, you could call a really good football team? Well, nobody. So it was a bit of a surprise to see Virginia Tech ranked. Like I said, much has been made of it, but it would have been perhaps a little bit better for the Hokies to come into this game against the 17th ranked Tar Heels with a chip on their shoulder. However, I do not think it'll make that much of a difference. Of course, looking back on last season, the Tar Heels spoiled Virginia Tech's finale for Frank Beamer, his home finale, I should say. I was in Lane Stadium. It was certainly a hard loss to take, but nonetheless, a huge day for Frank Beamer. But now, a new generation is underway with Justin Fuente, and so far, so good. The Hokies are 3-1 now. They're heading into their fifth game of the season, coming off of a bye week. So, a major factor here is that Virginia Tech had an extra week to prepare for this game. Meanwhile, North Carolina is coming off of an absolutely thrilling 37-35 win over Florida State on the road. Just a massive, massive win for UNC. They did not get off to the best of starts necessarily this season. However, a lot of momentum for the Tar Heels, you could say, coming into this game. However, there's also the risk, of course, of an emotional letdown. Can UNC get back up after really just getting up so high to pull off that upset win over Florida State? Now, Virginia Tech's reputation as DBU is really going to be put to the test on Saturday. All right, Mitch Trubisky, UNC's quarterback, he has averaged 342 passing yards per game thus far. All right, he has not thrown any interceptions in his last 240 attempts. And Ryan Switzer, got to keep an eye out for this kid. He is the focal point of the offense. I was immensely impressed with what I saw from him in the Florida State game. He could present serious matchup problems. He already has 47 catches to his name thus far this season, by far the most on the team. However, this is a Tar Heel squad that is very deep at wide receiver. Austin Prohl has 19 receptions for 269 yards. Bug Howard has 18 catches for 261 yards, and Mac Hollins is going to be a factor as well. He has 13 grabs for 252 yards. So, not to mention that Elijah Wood is a powerful running back. He's 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. He's going to bring a load. And, he had a lot of success against Virginia Tech last season. Over 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdown runs in that game. You better believe that Bud Foster's lunch pail defense will be dialed in, looking to stop him. The question is, can Virginia Tech really stop the passing game? I think that's got to be the main point of concern here. Looking at the Virginia Tech offense, of course, the big story thus far has been Jared Evans being pretty much a revelation at quarterback, already inserting his name amongst the best in the ACC. 13 touchdown passes and only 1 interception on a tipped ball. Have you? Really, just a phenomenal stat line. Didn't have his best game, of course, against Tennessee. He has said it himself. He wants to continue to improve, and I think people who have been watching Evans closely can tell that as good as he is, he still has so much room for improvement, which is so scary, honestly. So really looking forward to see what Evans can do. Trayvon McMillan to date has been the leading rusher on the Hokie team. Has had 48 carries for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. I see him getting a fair workload in this game. However, I would also like to see Marshawn Williams get an increased workload. He had 15 carries for 81 yards his last time out. He should go down as the lead power runner on this team. When it is third down and short, the ball should be in Marshawn Williams' hands, should the Hokies choose to run. Of course, Sam Rodgers will always play a major factor, whether it be blocking, catching passes, or running as well. And Isaiah Ford, is off to a stellar start this season as well. Of course, many people believe that he is going to be a major candidate for All-American honors. He has 24 catches for 376 yards and 4 touchdowns. So, I think he will be the best receiver on the field on Saturday. However, Virginia Tech does not have North Carolina's wide receiver depth, which raises some issues. But, Bucky Hodges, Cam Phillips, those are guys that are going to really look to increase their workload, get more targets, and really just have this passing game take off the way it is capable of doing. So, when we talk about Virginia Tech playing on the road, last time the Hokies faced a ranked opponent on the road, it worked out pretty well, beating Ohio State at the Horseshoe. What a win that was. However, they had a letdown the next week, of course, against East Carolina. Virginia Tech doesn't really have to worry about a letdown in the situation, emotionally, at least having 2 weeks to prepare. And, since Virginia Tech has joined the ACC, the Hokies are actually, believe it or not, 10-3 against ranked opponents on the road. So this is a team that loves to traditionally rise to the occasion against the Goliaths of college football. This is certainly going to be an extremely difficult matchup for Virginia Tech. If the Hokies lose this game, it would be a massive blow towards their hopes of winning the Coastal Division and getting a spot in the ACC Championship game. This game, although it's relatively early in the season, might serve as a de facto Coastal Division Championship, since, in my opinion, these are the best 2 teams in the division, although Miami might have something to say about that. They're, of course, off to a hot start. So, all in all, I think the timing of this game plays into Virginia Tech's hands. Of course, it's going to be extremely difficult playing on the road, but ultimately, I am picking Virginia Tech to win a thriller in Chapel Hill. Give me the Hokies by 2 points.